difficulties between the rain and everything else. How many of you know that some days that things just kind of don't go the way you planned them to go? Cindy and I are getting ready to go out of town tomorrow, and our air conditioner on the van decided it didn't want to work. So we got that out there, so I'm in my regular wheelchair today, and working through that as well. But we're excited about the message tonight. I really believe that it's a word for us, the leader, the influencer. And before I get to that, let me try and get this set up so my wife can moderate the conversation for us tonight. And let's see, there we go. And start. Here you go, Cindy. Let's start a little watch party right there. All right, there you go. And anyway, couple real quick announcements. July the 7th, not only is it Lakeside's day to pray for our mission Moultrie, but it's also a day our community is going to come together, and we're doing an event out on the square right there at the pavilion where the steps are, called Divine Interruption. How many of y'all know that today we need God just to show up and intervene? We need God to do a great and a mighty work. And so we are planning an event that the community is coming together. And July the 7th, 7 p.m., we're all going to meet out at the square. We've got several churches joining together. We're going to worship, and we're going to pray. We've got the community leaders coming out. Our county commissioners are coming out. I believe our sheriff's going to come out. And we're going to have a time where we can unite together as a community and just seek the face of God. And so I want to invite everybody to come out July the 7th on the square, 7 p.m. And then also all of our students. This year with the COVID-19, we're not able to do our normal kids camp, which is disappointing. I know our kids wanted to go. I know our youth pastor, children's pastor is excited about it, but right now we're not able to do that. So we're going to do a thing this year. It's going to have a virtual VBS at Lakeside Assembly. If you go to our Facebook page and you search Virtual VBS Lakeside, July 19th through the 23rd, we're going to have a virtual VBS. Invite all of our parents to come by. On the 18th, we've got a basket of things we want to give to you for your student for that virtual VBS. And I really believe it's going to be a very impactful time for them. Amen. Okay, so tonight we're going to start a series, or pick up the second part of our series, The Renegade Leader, Part 2. This is based off the book of Nelson Searcy, The Renegade Pastor. Our church at Grace World Outreach years ago in the Tampa Bay area, Brooksville, Florida, we went through this as a staff, and it really impacted me, changed a lot of the way that we do ministry, and not just in ministry, but as a leader. And last week we talked about leadership as anybody that has an area of influence. And as a Christian, we all should be influencing our culture around us. As a parent, you're influencing your family, your spouse, your kids. So regardless of your position in life, you have the potential to influence others. So this is applicable to you. Parents, I want to encourage you to take this maybe and sit down with your student afterwards and talk about some principles that will help them be better leaders moving forward. So last week, we started with a commitment of loving God. We said that none of us wake up in the morning with the intention of just being average. I don't know about you, but I don't want to really just be average. You know, I don't get up and say, hey, today I just want to accomplish the same thing as everybody else. No, I want to be exceptional. I want to rise to the surface. And we talked about some traits that gives us the ability to move from where we are to where we want to go, from where we are to where we want to be. We just finished a series about the principle of the path. We talked about the path that you're on, the road that you're on determines the direction you're going, which ultimately determines your destination. And so we talked about some traits that put us on the right path to help us get to our desired destination. And we said there's some traits. One of it is a character trait. You know, I can't teach character. We can teach skill, but character is something you got to work on developing yourself. And we said that character is important, but it also, your character helps you decide what you're going to commit to. And your commitments is what's going to determine the path that you get on. And then we talked about the discipline that helps drive our commitment. which helps build our character, which puts us on the right path. So character is an intentional change that's birthed out of character. Intentional change is birthed out of character. Change is going to happen, but you want to be able to control the change. You want to be intentional about the change that you have, so you want to dictate the change. And the commitments you make determine the direction of your life, and the discipline that you have in your life will determine how well you follow through with your commitments. So character, commitments, and discipline. And off of that, we wanted to pull off commitments. I talked to you last week that we're gonna deal with some commitments that will help impact your life in a lot of different areas. Last week we looked at commitment number 1, follow your Lord. I asked the question, is the Lord your God? Because a lot of people name him as Lord, but they never make him Lord. Is he your Lord? You can't be a leader and ask others to follow you unless you know how to follow as well. Sam Rayburn said. We looked at Mark 1:17. It says, "Come follow me," Jesus said, "and I will send you out to fish for people." Jesus said that we need to be a follower of him to learn how to learn his will, learn what his desire is. If we follow him, he'll teach us how to fish for people. And so today we're going to pick up with part 2, and I'm going to start with the quote that I love. It's from D.L. Moody. It says, "A man ought to live so that everybody knows he is a Christian."